Welcome to Celebrity Liar. My name is Andrew Hill Newman, and my co-host, your virtual viaduct to the ventured veracity, is Valerie Azlynn. The game we play here in this tiny room is simple. Two celebrities are going to tell you the same story as if it happened to them. In truth, it only happened to one of them. It is going to be up to you, the audience, to decide who's the liar.
And I will be with you here in the chat room, taking your questions and comments and passing them on to Andy and our celebrities. And I'll be here to announce the vote.
The results of the vote. And if you want to be able to vote and chat, you should click on the bar that's somewhere down there that says chat and view larger. If you're watching on the front page of theroomlive.com, it will bring you to a new page where you can chat and where you can vote on which celebrity you think is lying. And speaking of celebrities, we got two great guests tonight. They both are extremely talented and accomplished actors, and I happen to know that they both enjoy the playing of the games. First, from films like Mean Girls, Cloverfield, and Hot Tub Time Machine, and TV series including, but not limited to, True Blood and the extremely hysterical Party Down, Lizzy Caplan. And besides creating one of the most iconic characters in comedic television, this gentleman's prodigious career includes work on the big screen and multiple award-winning turns on Broadway. He is currently the artistic director of Reprise, Broadway's Best, here in Los Angeles. Let's hear it for Jason Alexander.
Hello, can I get a thing that says view and click larger to take home for my own personal use?
Yes, you can.
Talk and view larger. I could go a long way with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, before the show, both Lizzy and Jason were off in our soundproof booth exchanging personal tales. And Robin, our trusty producer, has titled these tales, and we have placed them deep within the now legendary bowl of stories. What do you say we get right into this?
Oh my.
Okay, Jason, you're going to go first.
All
We're
right.
going to put 2 minutes on the clock.
All right.
And you are going to tell us the story that we call Happy Birthday to Me.
Yes, one of my more exciting events. Well, this was around my 21st birthday. You know me well enough to know I'm not a big drinker. I've never really been drunk. I'm not a substance abuser. I was 21, I was out of college prematurely, and I happened to have gone to school with Rosie O'Donnell, who also was out of college prematurely. And we wound up, just for the hell of it, taking an apartment in New York City, just to split costs. We were friends, we kind of knew each other from the same department, we weren't really that close. It's my 21st birthday, and I go, you know, I've only got a couple people around. I want to blow this thing out. I want to do something I've never done. I can drink legally now. I'm going to go get plastered. So I go with Rosie and a couple other people, and we go out, and Rosie doesn't bar hop. Rosie restaurant hops. So we're eating, and we're eating like pigs, and I don't realize that food is a deterrent to getting drunk. So I'm drinking everywhere we go. And I'm, you know, blasting these shots down and beers and wine, and I'm not feeling it. I go, oh, fine, it didn't work. Let's go back to the apartment. We'll all play games or something. And we get back to the apartment, and this thing hits. And now I'm in the bathroom, and I'm just hurling. It's a mess. If vomit can come out of every orifice, it's coming out of every orifice. And you can't get away from these people. My bedroom is the living room. Hers is the little one bedroom at the end. And we got this bathroom. And she's come in like a good soldier to go, can I do anything? Can I hold your hair? Like, that's going to help me. And I'm going, get the hell out of here. And I'm just puking and puking. And somehow I manage, when it's all done, I stumble back into my bed and I'm unconscious. Cut to, the next morning I wake up and I am butt-ass naked. I am completely nude. Spread eagle on my bed, face up, with a morning erection boner, a little urine boner, and I don't know how this happened. I don't know how I got here. I don't know what's going on, and I'm heading out to the I throw on a robe. I'm heading out to the bathroom. I figure it's going to be a mess, and I see Rosie like cowering on her bed in her open bedroom down at the end of the hall. And I go, what? Are you okay? What happened? She goes, I came in and you were like that with the erection, and now all I see is spears and darts and flaming swords coming at me. I'm gay. You've made me gay for the rest of my life. And she left. That was the end of our roommating. Wow. My 21st birthday.
Wow. Well told. I gotta say, Jason, it seems plausible, but I do know one person who may think that it might not be so truthful.
Her opinion
that be me?
is meaningless. Meaningless.
Let's see what your version of this story is, Lizzie.
Okay. So I was not 21, but maybe turning 23, and I like to do two things on my actual birthday. I like to eat a lot of steak, and I like to drink a lot of alcohol. Now, I hit the steak, I guess, a little bit too hard, because when we went to the bar, this group of friends and I kept drinking, people kept buying me drinks, I'm throwing back shots, and nothing is happening, and I'm getting kind of upset. It's my birthday, I want to be drunk, so everybody keeps buying me shots, I keep taking them, and then all of a sudden it hits me. This is going to be a very, very bad night. Not quite alcohol poisoning, but as close as you can get without going to the hospital. So everybody comes back to my house, and I go immediately to my bathroom. They're all upstairs having a good time. I go to my bathroom and just start puking everywhere. Just terrible, like spleen organs just shooting out. And my roommate at the time was a gay man, not an actor, but a gay man. And he came in, and he would, knock on the door gently and be like, hey, so can I help you out with anything? And I was so embarrassed that I would look up from the toilet bowl and just scream at him, like, you get the fuck out of here! Go away, leave me alone! Just sweating and crying. And so he did leave me alone, and somehow I managed to get back to my bed, and I pass out. Next morning, I wake up completely naked. I have no idea how it happened. My legs are pointed in two directions. My arms are pointed in two others. I grab some clothes and I go to find my roommate to apologize to him. And I can't find him anywhere. Finally, I look and he's hiding behind his bed. And I say, Max, I'm really, really sorry that I screamed at you last. He's like, no. I can't even look at you right now. Well, why? Because I went into your room this morning to see if you were alive, like a good friend would. And you were completely naked, and I saw, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that I was doing, no, Lizzie, it was like that thing in The Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
Well, I went on time.
And you know what? I liked your imagery, too. Of my
Thank you.
I gotta say, if your story included the morning erection, I was gonna know who the liar was. Right away.
That would probably give it away.
Wow. I'm not sure who the liar is. If you know who the liar is already, go ahead and vote. Remember, they don't want your vote. Whoever wins the vote as the liar loses this round. But you do have a chance to ask them some questions, as do I. And if you do have any questions, type them into the chat room, and Val will pass them along. My first question is for you, Lizzie.
Yeah.
Where was this? Here in Los Angeles?
It was in the Hollywood Hills of Los Angeles.
And I'm guessing you took a cab that night.
Yeah, somebody else drove. I wouldn't even dream of doing that.
No, you wouldn't. Really, Rosie O'Donnell, your roommate. Well,
Yeah, Rosie and I were both at BU. She was a year behind me. I left because I got work, and I never did my senior year. She left because they said, we don't want you back. Funny that with Rose, but
Wow, and yet you're probably two of their most distinguished alums.
Yes.
How about that?
Indeed.
And do you remember the restaurant where you eaten all this steak?
I think I had eaten at Musso and Frank's that night. It's a great place for a birthday. I highly recommend it.
Wow, I still have no idea. Val, do we have any questions from the chat room?
Yes, we do. We've actually gotten a bunch of our questions from Andy already here. So let's go with Le Speakeasy. I don't know if you remember what and how many drinks you had that night, but maybe how many drinks roughly?
I don't remember exactly how many, but it probably was close to 10, and I remember they were a fluorescent blue color.
Nice.
I don't know what they were, but they were horrible.
Mine were much more straight up.
Oh.
Beer, wine, and shots of something. Whatever you can put in a shot glass.
Just anything.
That's how much I don't drink. I don't know what you put in a shot glass.
Yeah, that sounds
it
like
might have
a
been,
load of
it could have been
crap to
buckshot
me.
for all I
And
know.
I'll ask you first, Jason. Did you find out from Rosie how you got naked? Do you think?
No, she wasn't there for the, as far as I know, she wasn't there for the
Did you normally
unrobing.
sleep in the buff?
Normally, no. I know. I mean, I did, but we had a door on the living room, so I could. But no, normally I was a boxer short kind of a suit.
And how about you? Just because I want the image. No, seriously. Was it surprising to you that you were naked when you woke up, or is this how you normally would wake up?
No. I don't usually sleep naked. Usually, I wear a three-piece suit.
Huh, interesting. Go ahead and vote if you already know who the liar is. I still don't know. Val, do you know? Do you have an idea who you think is lying?
I'm torn. I'm really torn. I find both performances very convincing. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Although the Rosie O'Donnell thing is where I'm questioning. Just saying, audience
I'm guessing
members.
Google.
Okay.
Google. Even if the story's a lie, I do believe they were roommates, but I don't understand why that sitcom hasn't been pitched yet. It's kind of fantastic. You know what? I'm close to making up my mind. We'll take one more question from the chat room, and then we're going to close up the voting. So go ahead. We got anything?
Yes. Boston Tracy would like to know, did your roommate ever recover? How's that relationship? Is it consistent?
He lives in New York now, and we don't speak as much. So he says he's over it, but we used to speak many, many, many times a day, and times have changed.
Wow.
Things just got sad in the room.
I'll room with you. I'll make it up. I'll room with you.
Do you want to?
Sure.
It's a terrifying request.
Here's a disgusting detail I'd like to know from each of you. This sight of your nakedness that... Vomit? There was vomit on you, or this was all in the bathroom because...
No, mine was all in the bathroom.
Yeah, and how about you, Jason?
I'm assuming mine was on the clothes that I didn't find. I was clothed during the vomiting, naked during the recovery.
I'm a very responsible vomiter. I don't get a speck on me.
I have decided who I believe the liar is. I'm going to write it here on my scrolling. That looks like the serial killer writing. But that is who I think is lying this time. And let's find out if you agree. So please, we're going to close off the voting in 10 seconds. So go ahead and vote, remembering that they do not want your vote. They don't want to be chosen the liar, because whoever the liar is going to lose this round. Val, have you decided?
We got to vote.
Okay, what is the result?
62% think that Jason is the liar.
I agree with you, 62%. I agree with you. And now's the time when we find out who really was lying. So will the liar please reveal yourself by dramatically raising your hand? We were correct, 62% of you and me. How about you, Val? Did you think that?
I hate to admit it, but I kind of did.
What was it? Was it the Rosie O'Donnell?
It was the Rosie O'Donnell that threw me.
You know why I went with that? Because my actual roommate out of college was Holly Hunter.
You weren't roommates? I believe that part.
Holly Hunter was my roommate, but her story so specifically ended with the gay guy who was confirmed avowedly gay.
You needed a
I
gay.
went, I need a lesbian. Who would I? And Rosie did go to Boston University when I was there, so I thought, oh, that could work.
Wow.
And that would,
Yeah, I
Wow,
liked
well,
that.
that part I totally believed.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
assumed that the drunken debauchery was only yours.
Oh,
but the
true.
score is 1-0 because Lizzy got 1 point for that round since she was telling the truth. Had she been the liar, she would have gotten 2 points. But it is 1-0, and you know they're not just playing for honor. No. Yes, they want honor, but they also want $16 million, which they could win in tonight's Mega Millions, because the only prizes we got are Mega Millions tickets. But being the philanthropic celebrities that they are, I'm sure that they will donate a generous yet undisclosed portion of their winnings to some worthy charity. Why don't we find out what those worthy charities are right now?
I'm playing today for an organization called Hate to Hope. It's run by a guy named T.J. Lydon, who is a former neo-Nazi skinhead who now goes around the country and targets young people and groups that would be susceptible to a message of hate, gets there before them, and kind of leads them down a path of hope.
That's
and
a good thing.
It's kind of an amazing guy, one of my
That's
personal
really,
heroes. Yep.
Wow, that's really
Really cool guy.
How about you?
I'm giving mine to Nazis.
Nice.
So we're sharing, essentially. Yeah, we're sharing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm giving mine to IMF.
IMF, that's
Yes,
myeloma.
that's right.
That's a very good charity as well. I hope you both win a ton of money, and both of these wonderful charities can benefit. Jason went first round, so Lizzie's going to go first in the second round. Whew. I'm going to once again reach deep within the bowl of stories. Lizzie.
There's only one I don't want you to pull right now.
I wonder if it's this one.
I feel like it probably will be.
Is the one you don't want it to be the play's the thing?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll find out. The play's the thing. Lizzy Caplan.
Okay, so I was in high school, and there was a guy, I went to a performing arts high school, and there was a guy who was in a production of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. I was not in that particular production, and he was sort of new to the school, and the first time I saw him when he was up there, you know, playing Mr. Bigley in How to Succeed in Business. And I fell madly, instantly in love with him, and I had to have him because he had like the fake gray hair, you know, and he was very distinguished, and he just nailed it. Fancy footwork, you know, great singing voice, all of it. Had to have him. So a bunch of those cast members were going on a ski trip, a ski weekend, and I managed to fight my way into that group so I could go because I knew all I needed was a couple days with him, and I could convince him to love me back. So we get there, and I'm flirting with him fairly heavily. I'm throwing a lot of stuff his way, and I guess it works enough because that first night we find ourselves in a room together, and we're sort of making out as high school.
Tell this part slow.
It's a pretty innocent make-out at this point. And I realize a few minutes in, I don't like this guy at all. This guy's annoying. I don't like the way that his armpits smell. He has a gentle spray of rosacea across his face. I don't care for him. I realized at that moment the man that I loved was Mr. Bigley. And so I somehow convinced him, I don't know, like maybe in the spirit of kinkiness, to recite lines from the play as we were getting it on, and he did, and it helped me really, you know, commit to what I was doing at that current moment. So the next night, I tried to do the same thing. Hey, maybe you want to bust out some of that Mr. Bigley line business again, and he was a little bit more suspicious and clearly not as into it this time. So I told him, you know, I admitted to him that this was, you know, unfortunately the case, that I didn't know how I felt about him. You cut me off, though, before.
No, go ahead.
You commented.
I did. You have an extra second.
Okay, and then the tragic part of the story is by the third day, by the time we left, he was already full-on boyfriend and girlfriend with another girl on the trip. And there were only about 6 people on that trip. Yeah.
Well told. Well told. I have to say, I was Jay Pierpont Finch in my high school production of How to Succeed, so I may have some details.
He was there. He was also there.
But him you don't go for. You go for Bigley.
I didn't care for him.
Jason, I understand something similar may have happened to you.
Nobody falls for the guy playing Bigley. That's where that story fell apart. I was a drama kid in school, and we would do musicals and dramas at the same time. I happened to be in the drama. The musical was Bye Bye Birdie. And there was a girl, Susie Sherrill. She was a new girl in town. And she fell in with and she wound up getting cast as Rosie. And I didn't know her very well because we were rehearsing our show, they were doing their show, so I didn't really get to hang with her, although I had a lot of friends in that cast. And she does the show, and she's in this dark wig, and she's doing this kind of kick-ass Spanish accent as Rosie. And I go and watch the show, and I fall completely in love with this girl. I'm just completely smitten by her. That cast got very tight, and they all decided they're going to go up to Monmouth and go skiing for a weekend. And I know enough people in the cast. I go, I'm going to, you know, so I go along, and I make it my weekend's mission. I'm going to cut Susie Sherrill out of the group, and I'm going to get with this girl. This is going to be my new girlfriend. And I'm flirting, and I'm skiing with her, and I'm showing her how to ski, and I'm doing all this stuff. And sure enough, that night, she kind of gives me the come hither, and we wind up back in her room, and we start making out, and I realize this is not everything. She's not Rosie. There's not an armpit, but there's a breath issue going on, and she's got kind of serious acne, and it is not my thing, and it's not happening, and she could tell it's not happening, and I have a little epiphany that goes, I liked Rosie. I'm not so crazy about Susie. So I said to her, hey, can you do that Spanish accent thing that you're doing? Can you like talk in your Rosie voice? And she started talking in a Rosie voice, and that was enough of a swing that I could kind of fake my way through the night. And then the next day, she kind of gave me the come hither again at night, and I said, okay, but ask me like Rosie. And she went, what? And she was totally turned off. And she hooked up with the guy playing Albert Peterson, and I was left out it was bye-bye Jason instead of bye-bye Birdie.
Well told again both times, I gotta say it. If you know who the liar is already, go ahead and vote. Remembering they don't want to win this vote, they want you to believe them. I've got a couple questions, and if you do, go ahead and type them in the chat room. First for you, Lizzy.
Yes.
Really? Well, at least she didn't choose Bud Frump. She went with Bigley.
Yeah.
But
Head of the company.
here's
Exactly.
you
He
went
was the
back
head
for
of
a
the company.
second night with Bigley, and it was on the third night.
Yeah.
So really, even though because the Bigley was enough to keep him charming.
Yeah, it was enough because I think girls attempt to make it work for maybe a little bit longer than boys do. I thought I could power through. And then the girl he ended up with, the reason why everybody liked her was because she did a really good Thumper impression from the Bambi cartoon. She sucked.
You know what? That wasn't why they liked her.
All right.
We'll talk. I'll
Fair
tell you why
enough.
they liked her.
And yet she didn't mind his gentle spray of rosacea.
No, I guess not.
And you had to. I like that you had to like separate her from the herd.
Cut
You
her
were
out of the pack.
cut her
Yeah,
out. Wild. And so you were in another show, not Bye Bye Birdie. Do you
Correct. I
remember
was
what
in the
show
drama.
you were doing?
I was in David and Lisa, which is a psychological thing
They
about
did
two
that at,
disturbed.
my school,
yeah,
too.
it's an old TV movie that was based on a play, based on a real story as well.
You're a great Albert. I can't believe they didn't want you. in
Because it was mostly seniors and juniors, and I was not yet a junior. I was a sophomore.
Val, we got any questions from the chat room?
Yes. Boston Tracy would like to know from Lizzy, what was his name?
Austin.
I like it.
Do you remember
quick
by
one.
any chance what song Bigley sings?
No, I can only remember J. Pierpont, and I know he didn't sing that.
Suddenly there is. Okay.
Did he even have a lot to sing?
He has a
He
couple of
sings
tunes,
Grand
yeah.
Old Ivy.
He has Grand Old Ivy, and he's got the thing
Groundhog.
with Hetty
Gra-
at the,
does
in
he
the
do
second.
the
Oh yeah, he
Groundhog?
does. He does Groundhog. I remember, and he did it just like
Yeah.
that. Gorgeous.
Yeah. And we'll be doing that number later, so be sure. Go ahead and vote. I'm still a little torn, but I'm leaning towards one. How about you? Have you made up your mind?
I hate to admit it because I don't want to sway the votes, but two Rosies in
That's
one
what I was
night?
gonna say.
I don't know. I mean, I'm getting a dirty look. I better shut my mouth.
Do we
I
have
mean,
any more,
Lizzy's story.
You're interpreting dirty looks. I was just looking.
do we have any more questions from the chat room?
Yes, we do. Okay, one of my favorites here. Regina Falang would like to ask Jason.
Regina Falang?
Regina Falang.
No, it's phalange, like a phalange.
Falange. Sorry. I'm sorry, Regina. If your name is Regina, I'm just going by the name.
Probably Rosie.
It's probably Rosie.
Then she's lying.
She would like to know what was worse, the acne or the bad breath?
I can get through a bad breath. I have a real thing with skin issues. I don't know why, because that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Unless other things happen. But, you're dealing with faces mostly. And it was hard, the fantasy. And you don't see it from stage, because you got the heavy, in high school, it's that heavy pancake makeup that everybody believes you have to do. And then, so.
You know what? I've decided who I think the liar is, and I'm going to write it on down. We can still take another question, but I will share it with Lizzy and Jason. I think this is who is lying. But let's see who you think and if we agree. But why don't we take one more question, then I will close up the voting.
All right. Le Speakeasy would like to know, was there alcohol involved? I'm guessing for both of you, was there alcohol involved?
There was alcohol involved, and that stands out in my mind because our chaperones were two mothers of the kids there, and they would go to AA meetings, and then we would sneak in alcohol and drink it, and which seems really horrible and wrong now.
And what grade were you in the Performing Arts High School at this
I
point?
guess I was probably a senior.
And how about you? What grade?
There
were
was
you?
I was in 10th. No, there was no alcohol involved. I don't need fake things to attract women.
Interesting. Okay, let's close up the voting, and we will get a total from a Val in a second. I have decided, again, that this person is lying, and I think I'm correct. Let's see if you agree.
All right. So, drum roll. 64% think that Lizzy is the liar.
I agree with you, 64%. That means that Jason has won this round, but whether he gets 1 or 2 points will depend on whether he was lying or not. So will the real liar please dramatically reveal yourself by...
I really thought I was going to win that.
You know where it fell apart for me? In choosing Bigley. Really.
But that's...
I'm telling you, nobody goes with Bigley. You with your fake silver hair.
No?
I just fucked it up. I'm not the liar.
Yes,
But
she
you raised her hand.
No,
She is the liar. Oh, she's not the liar. I was the liar. I'm sorry.
He's the
That's
liar.
right, yeah.
He's the liar, but it was my
Yeah, it was
story.
her story.
Really a
I'm the
simple
liar.
game.
You went so
We
fast.
explained the rules to them
went so
before
fast,
they
I thought
got
maybe
here.
I was
I
crazy.
understood.
Because
You didn't even wait for him to get the sentence out. Your hand was
The
up. I
hand
went,
was
"Yeah."
up.
Maybe
I
she's right. Yeah.
Because he was, I mean, it was my
Yeah, it was her story. It was my lie. I was
It
lying.
was your lie.
I was lying.
See, I was looking for the liar to raise
not
their
the-
hand, and
yeah,
then the
I-
truth
Yeah.
to raise their
Listen.
well, then I don't know why you picked Bigley. Real the silver.
I did.
He was cute, huh?
I like Bigley.
Wow. And,
I like him a little
No
older.
wonder I didn't get
Can
lucky when I
just
played
say,
Finch.
I haven't seen this girl since 6th grade. Susie Sherrill was gorgeous. She had no skin problems. She was a beautiful young girl.
All right.
Susie, if she's
Yeah, if anybody
Yeah,
knows
I
Susie, please tell her.
haven't seen her since sixth
You're
grade.
just using it to embellish the lie. Well, Jason, you are winning 2-1 at this point,
Jesus.
but that's still a very close game. And it's all going to come down to the lightning round.
Uh-oh.
And the lightning round works like this. Before the show, both Jason and Lizzy were kind enough to email me a list of facts and supposed facts about themselves. I have chosen some kind of at random, kind of not, and put them onto these cards and typed them up so we can read them. So we'll begin with Lizzy. If you could read these to Jason, please. And Jason, if you could answer like lightning. 'cause
Whether
that's
I
the
think
lightning round.
this is
True
about
or
her,
lie. Things about
and
her.
I'm saying whether
some
it's
are
true or whether it's a lie.
Yeah, some
Okay,
are true, some
okay.
are a lie.
All right.
Are you ready?
like lightning.
Yeah, sure.
Do you realize this is the biggest game show in the world
True.
that we're on right now?
Okay. Oh, that was a that was
Yeah,
an
yeah.
outside
No,
the
no.
bubble
Oh, wait, that's
question.
not
All
on
right.
my-
All right.
Okay. Number one, I never got better than a C in math.
False.
2, I've applied to the CIA.
False.
3, I was sent to wilderness school when I was 15 for smoking pot.
True. And being naked, you whore.
I'm not coming off great in this. 4, I had a butterfly tattoo on my lower back that I had covered up with another tattoo.
True.
5, I was an all-star soccer goalie.
False.
All right, very interesting. Now we're going to move on to your lightning round, Jason.
You didn't answer that so lightning-y. Watch this.
Yeah,
Check
like
this out.
lightning.
Hey,
check,
listen.
check out the lightning at a Lizzy Caplan.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Lightning. Number 1. For professional reasons, I have kissed both Olsen twins.
False.
Number 2. I have totaled 2 motorcycles.
True.
Number 3. I have stood naked in front of Elizabeth Taylor.
True.
Number 4.
I just want it to be true so bad.
There's a lot of nudity in my stories. Number 4. I have corresponded for years with Jimmy Carter, but we have never met.
False.
Number 5. I have a phobia regarding my belly button.
False.
Wow, very interesting. Okay, let us see. We're going to start with Lizzy's round. These were Jason's answers to Lizzy's round. She said she never got better than a C in math. You said that was false.
For some reason, I see you as a math student.
Well,
No, it's true. She never got better than a C.
Yeah, I didn't want you to be stupid.
She said she applied to the
I
CIA.
excelled in other areas, Jason.
You thought that was a big fat lie that she applied to the CIA, but
I didn't
apparently
see it. You did apply to the
you wanted to
CIA?
be a spy.
I did.
Wow, I couldn't
But they
be
didn't
more
take
wrong.
They never called back, but I filled out the whole thing.
Well, is that really an application then?
Yeah,
if they don't
it
even
took me like
acknowledge
3
your
days
existence?
to do that application.
All right, fine.
She said she was sent to wilderness school when she was 15 for smoking weed. You said
that
it was
was
true.
true.
No.
No.
No. Not
You know,
true.
I've known you for a whole hour now, and I can't believe I'm this misinformed about it.
She said she had a butterfly tattoo on her lower back that she covered up with another tattoo. You said that's true. No, it's not.
No,
That's
no,
a
it's
lie.
not.
I would
No.
never get such
No,
a tattoo.
and
I
you
figured
said
you tramp with the drinking and the
Right.
smoking. And
I understand.
Tramp
Right.
stamp
I've really
tattoo on
painted
the
a
back,
very
yeah.
and
terrible
you
picture
did
of
not
myself
see
here.
her as an all-star soccer goalie because you thought she was a pot smoker at
Yeah.
Wilderness School,
Yeah.
and she was an all-star soccer goalie. So, Jason,
You
I
know
would like
what?
to congratulate you because you are the first contestant
Egg.
to get none right on the lightning round. So you get no points for that.
That's how I read people in poker, too, by the way. I zero in on that
Lizzy,
stuff.
this means you need to get one of these right to tie him and two of these right to beat him.
Okay.
Let's see. Starting at the bottom, he said he has a phobia regarding his belly button. You thought that was a lie, but apparently...
It's true.
What?
It is true.
What kind of thing is that?
Well, when I was 4 years old, my mother, in the act of cleaning my poor little body, punctured my belly button with a Q-tip. And I have had a thing about it ever since.
Ay,
I can't.
it sounds
Anybody,
painful.
you know, if like somebody's touching me and they kind of get here, I go, yeah,
Punctured?
Wow.
yeah, actually,
Punctured.
yeah.
Wow, a
Yeah.
pupicophobia.
Yeah, pupicophobia.
He said he'd corresponded for years with Jimmy Carter, but he's never met him. That's false. He hasn't been. And
Yeah.
you said false, and so that's a point for Lizzy.
That would
be
It
a
is
tie.
a tie game. You need one more to pull ahead. He said he stood naked in front of Elizabeth Taylor. You wanted it to be true. It is true, which means that, Lizzy, you're going to win with a score of at least 3-2. But let's find out that she also got the other two right. He has totaled 2 motorcycles, and you said that was true. And he hasn't kissed both Olsen twins for professional reasons. It was totally social.
Because you'd only have to kiss one because they always play the same part.
Wow, wow, wow.
I just said I don't kiss during sex. That's why.
So by a score of 5-2, the victor tonight
Yes.
is Lizzy Caplan.
Yes.
How about that?
I just want the biggest game show in the world.
Jason, just for coming, you get one shot at winning $16 million for
thank
you and your
you
charity.
very much.
And Lizzy, you get 5 shots at $16 million,
Wow.
which means you're probably going to win.
I think so.
If I understand how
Wow.
these lottery things work. I would like to thank both Jason and Lizzy for coming and playing our game and being so entertaining doing so. I also would like to thank Valerie Azlynn for doing a great job in the chat room and co-hosting. By the way, follow us at Celeb Liar on the Twitter. Follow The Room Live at The Room Live on the Twitter. And if this is your first time in the Room Live, come back because we have diction lessons here. No, there's a lot going on in here. There's cooking shows, there's comedy, there's us, there's music, there's great live music. Check out the archives for some really cool intimate performances. The Room Live is filled with great web entertainment, and you should check it all out.
Is there nudity?
There is. Has there been nudity? No, it's intimate and it's small. It's a very small room. But you know what? I want to thank Robin Rouzan and Michael Davis and Matt Edwards and everybody else in the Room Live that does such a good job at helping us out. I want to thank the indefatigable Melanie Marquez, but mostly I want to thank you for clicking on us. I hope you had a good time. Good night.